So today we are going to talk about creating Facebook authority in 5 easy steps, which is essentially how I took my other page from 0 to almost 1,000 likes in just 72 hours, the first 72 hours that I had it. Okay. So what we're going to talk about today is finding where your future clients and fans already are, meeting people where they're already at, researching your customers so that you can determine what it is that they want and what it is that they need from you. I'm also going to teach you how to leverage the expertise you already have to help people and create authority while you're doing it. We're going to talk about driving sales and traffic back to your site using your newfound Facebook authority. And like I said, at the very end, we are going to have a Q&A. So don't disappear. I'm going to answer all your questions at the end. So if you have anything that is just not jiving with you, you're not making sense of it, you just let me know at the end and we are going to make sure that we get it figured out for you. Cool? Let's jump in. So before we get into like the real meat and potatoes of the content, or meat and tofu, because I am vegan, don't worry, I'm a normal one. This is your time, okay? So minimize your distractions. Flip your cell phone over, throw it on silent, get out a notebook and a pencil, take some notes. I'm going to share lots of great stuff with you and I don't want you to miss anything. But most importantly, have some fun, okay? Facebook is meant to be fun, and that's one of the reasons that I love it so much, is that you can have fun while you are branding yourself, building your authority, and building your business. What is not to love about that, right? Because let's be honest, we all spend like hours on Facebook, right? Comment in the chat box, like you're on Facebook every single day, right? So these methods that I'm going to share with you, they work. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me so that you understand where I'm coming from and what I know. My name is Zach, and in that picture are my dogs, Ted and Charles, and they are running around all at my feet. So do not worry if you hear them bark. They love to be quiet 24/7 until I hop on a webinar. It's like a rule of thumb in our house that as soon as I'm on a webinar, they love to make noise. So if you hear them, just give them a hello in the chat box and we'll keep moving. And you know, my company is Heart, Soul, and Hustle, and it was founded on the belief that passion and hustle make any dream achievable, right? Because we know we don't always have capital. We know we don't always have unlimited resources, but what you always have accessible to you is the passion, the drive, and the hustle to make it happen. So a little bit about me, I run a vegan food blog, and I got up to 1,250 subscribers. That number actually jumped up a little bit this week. After I made the slides, we're closer to 1,300 now. I've done successful crowdfunding campaigns and I've sold multiple programs and ebooks. This was all over 7 months and I never spent more than $200 on advertising, okay? So, right, who would kill to be able to spend $200 and get those kinds of results, right? You can do it, and that's what we're gonna talk about. I've been an online marketer for 5 years and I've done everything from website flipping to affiliate sales to creating my own products, to writing articles online for just a few pennies. I mean, I have done it all. So I've been there, done that. And I also grew a highly engaged Facebook following to about 1,000 in 72 hours. And I built my own group of 1,100 vegan and plant-based foodies, right? So I had my own group where people were communicating with me. Okay, so that's a little bit about the page where you can see where my knowledge of Facebook comes in, because that vegan food blog is kind of the case study that I'm going to show you. This is a snapshot as of a couple days ago, and I think we're a little closer to 2650 now, or we might have just passed it, but as you can see, it's consistently on the rise. And in January and September, those are the 2 times that I advertised. The rest is all organic. And again, that entire thing is less than $200. And you can see right there in the first 72 hours, we jumped up to almost 1,000 people. That's crazy, right? In the first 3 days. And I know what you're thinking, like, yeah, likes are great, but does it go beyond likes? It does. So I did the math here. I checked it all out for you. And in 6 months, I took my list from non-existent to 1,000 people. So this is the people that were getting my emails, okay? 1,000 people in 6 months. I did the math, over 75% of those were organic. Okay, the number is actually closer to like 85%, but I'm really comfortable telling you that over 75% did not come from any form of paid advertising. It came all from free sources, and the majority are the Facebook things I'm going to share with you today. Like I said, I also raised $800 on a crowdfunding campaign. And here's the really cool part. So my goal was $1,300, but beyond that, I actually had one of my followers who really connected with me because I know how to use Facebook and I know how to connect with people, and I'm going to teach you how to do it too. Reach out to me and say, hey, I couldn't give to your crowdfunding campaign, but I know that you are using it to get yourself to a conference. So why don't I give you free room and board because I'm in the city that you're going to? Seriously, I raised the cost of a ticket, the cost of a flight, and I got free room and board. And for that Kickstarter Indiegogo is what I ran it on, I didn't spend a penny. That was all free, right? No money out of pocket. All Facebook advertising, seriously, free advertising. And so you're thinking like, yeah, but will this work for me? That's a vegan food blog. People love food. I use this webinar as a case study. And I had a few people ask me, well, how are you advertising for a webinar that you're going to teach people how to use Facebook for free? Well, number one, I wanted to get as many people on here as possible because I know how many people are struggling to make Facebook work. You sit there and you stare at the ads that aren't working, or you can't get the ads to work, and you stare at your profile or your page and people are not commenting and engaging with you. And it's frustrating, right? So I wanted to reach as many people as I could. But with this webinar, we had over 150 people signed up in 4 days using these free marketing techniques, okay? So over 300 people registered, nearly half of them. Actually, when I checked last, it was just over half. Over half of the people that registered for this webinar did it without ads. I didn't reach them through ads. This works. This works whether you are a vegan food blog. It works whether you are teaching people about Facebook. Those are two extremes. If it works for those, it's gonna work for you, right? And here's the cool part about Facebook is I stayed authentic to who I am, because you can be yourself and you can make money online and you can gain followers and you can get people to join you and want to be with you and want to help you and want to support you, right? Who doesn't, like seriously, type in the chat box, how cool would it be to be able to get on Facebook, do your thing, be yourself, and get followers, grow your list, and get people to like your page? So if you think that would be awesome, just type it in the chat box and let me know. I want to see how many of you are on board with me here. Okay, let's jump into the next slide while I'm waiting for you to respond. Teresa, real quick, said, how many of those people were already on your list? So that list was 0 to 1,000, all Facebook. There was no existing numbers. The list started the same time the page started. Okay, hope that answers that question. So why do you need to be on Facebook? Oh, there's Ted. He made his appearance. So why do you need to be on Facebook? There are 1.39 billion active monthly users on Facebook. Those are people getting on Facebook, commenting, liking, sharing, and engaging each and every month. And that number is going up every single year. We're seeing a 10 to 15% increase in the amount of people using it year after year. People are on Facebook. There are 4.75 billion pieces of content that are getting shared every single day, right? And when the average person visits Facebook, they're spending 20 minutes there. Okay, I think that this sounds like a piece of the pie that you can totally get in on, right? When you hear these numbers, it doesn't sound like it's going to be hard to get your fill, right? So bottom line is you need to be there. You need to be on Facebook, but you don't have to pay. That's what's so great. And here's a little testimonial from Abigail over at the Kind Kitchen. She used the methods that I taught, and she was able to boost her opt-ins by 120% in just 3 days. You can do that. You can double and then some the amount of people joining your list in just 3 days because this stuff works. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. And PowerPoint's going to be a little glitchy on me, but don't worry, I know it's coming up. So I'm going to tell you that step 1 is to find groups. Okay. Groups are where people are on Facebook. And unlike pages, you are not limited to your 5 to 7% reach. If you post it and people are there, they're going to get the update. They're going to see it, right? Your ideal customers are already in groups, and groups are great because they have already sorted themselves out for you. It is so easy, right? So you have to build a list in order to kind of sell your products and offer your services. But on Facebook, if you do a search, you start with a broad term in the search at the top, and you'll see I showed you, you can narrow that down to groups. You can find groups that are doing the things that you want, right? It has never been this easy to literally log on to the internet, type in the general idea of what you want people who are following you to be doing, and then engage with them, right? You would have to pay $2 or $3 or $4 in ad conversion to get one person on your list, and maybe they're interested, maybe they're not. But here, you just type in Facebook marketing, you join a Facebook marketing group, and you know that the people in that group want to know about Facebook marketing. How freaking cool is that? Oh, I get so excited about it. So you're going to join some groups that you are interested in, relevant to your niche, whether that's health and fitness, whether that's online marketing, it doesn't matter. Find relevant groups. And then once you are in these groups, you're going to research them. Okay. So I want you to write down these 3 questions. And then I want you to write down that 4th question. And I want you to circle it and circle it and circle it and underline it. And then if you have a marker, write over it and italicize it. Okay. What questions are people asking? What questions are going unanswered? What common questions could you be helping with in this group, right? Where can you be helping? The big question that you need to ask yourself every time you join a group is, what could I do to add value to this group? And this is the opposite of what a lot of us think. We think our clients are here. The first thing I need to do is get in this group, and then I need to figure out how I can share my stuff. Wrong. That's wrong. So if you're thinking that, just get that out of your mind right now, okay? Figure out what you can do to make that group better first. Can you post engage with people in groups as a company page, says Mona. And I'm so glad you typed that in. And you cannot, but don't worry. I'm going to teach you why that doesn't really matter. Okay. Some things to remember. Closed groups tend to have higher value because the spam stays out. In an open group, anybody can join. They can post whatever they want. It ends up being spam city. Search for groups that are relevant to you. Once you are in, check that groups are active, right? So it doesn't do you any good to join a group with 5,000 people with 1 post a day or 10 posts a day from different people, but no one's commenting or liking. That's not going to do anything for you. So usually with every 8 to 10 groups I research, I find 1 or 2 that I really want to be a part of. And here's my little pro tip. When you're in a group that you love, so I screenshotted this from one of my absolute favorite groups. Over on the right side of Facebook, which is why it's on the right side of the slide, you can see suggested groups. And that's going to be based on your friends. It's going to be based on the content of the group. And it's going to be based on all these other things that Facebook has built in. It's awesome, right? Grab a little sip of water here. Step 3, be the selfless helper. Okay, so give and give and give to these groups without any expectation. Okay, so leveraging your authority isn't about exhibiting how much you know and how much you have on your website. Okay, people aren't really on Facebook for that. But what you can do is go into these groups and you can engage. So comment and like on the posts that are in the groups that you joined. You can watch the groups that you're in for chances to help people, places where you can answer questions, respond, provide links, share your ideas and insights to display your expertise in a helpful way. So notice how I didn't say share your ideas and insights with links back to your website, right? Because we're not really there yet. You just joined this group and it's kind of like this. If I met you on the street and you said, oh man, I'm so glad we just met. I really need to get my car painted. Do you know anywhere good to do that? And you said, I paint cars. Why don't you come to my shop right now? Let's go, right? It's not exactly the same, but that's kind of how people feel when you say, go to my link on Facebook. Here, I wrote a post about this before they know you. Okay, so this part where you're just helping people, it's establishing you as number one, somebody they know, and number two, an authority in the area and the group that you're in. And the last thing is to connect with people when you have the chance. When you have back and forth with somebody and you have a really good feeling, you need to connect with them, send them a message, send them a friend request if it feels right, because guess what? This comes down to relationship building. And you have to build relationships, and you're never going to build relationships solely in groups. It's going to come outside of groups. It's going to be in messages. It's going to be in all types of ways, emails. So start in the group, connect with the people who are good for you while you're displaying your expertise in a helpful way. So if this sounds a little abstract to you, I have a couple examples. So these are both from groups that I'm in, and somebody said, hey, does anybody know if business pages can join groups? Something that Mona just asked. And I had said, hey, it's a total bummer, but Facebook pages can't join groups. You can, however, share your page's content in a group from your personal page. Just make sure you're not breaking group rules and that you're adding value with your posts, right? Simple enough. What that does is I didn't include a link, I didn't self-promote, but that person had a question and I showed that I knew the answer without self-promoting and being sleazy and spammy. And that person might remember my name the next time I post. Or if somebody else asks, they might tag it and say, hey, Zach knew the answer to this. Why don't you ask him? And they'll tag you. Okay. Another one, somebody said, hey, I can't remember what group it was and I'm on my phone, so I can't search. Wasn't there talk of a great zesty cheese sauce, nacho cheese sauce? Is a recipe out there? And this was in one of my vegan groups. And I said, hey, I'm not sure where that one was, but have you checked out the Oh She Glows vegan cheese sauce? It is seriously heaven on earth. Here's the link. Let me know if you enjoy it. I have cheese sauce recipes on my food blog, but I didn't put it there because this wasn't a group that I had a lot of authority in already. And basically, I am sharing other people's resources, okay? So connect people to the answers. Give the answers, connect them to the answers, but don't from day one say, I am the answer, because people just don't like that. All right. Just checking the comments to make sure everything's good. I will be sending out a replay to you guys. Since you're live here, you will get a replay, so don't worry, you'll get a chance to see the slides again, promise, okay? Number 4 is actively participate, okay? So people don't just want to work with somebody who is an expert. They also want someone who's human. Do not be afraid to show both your expertise and your needs, okay? So if you're in these groups and all you ever do is leverage yourself as an authority, which is important, but you never ask questions, right? You never tag somebody else. You never give a like. You never give a comment just because, or to say, good job, way to go. People don't really relate to that. They want you to be human, okay? So on another level, it's just like when I said, hey, my dogs are gonna make an appearance, right? I don't think that any of you, I would hope, were like, oh man, if his dogs bark, this is the least professional webinar I've ever been on. None of the information is good, right? It was relatable, and people, you even said like, oh my gosh, I would love if Ted made an appearance, and you guys made comments, and that's what it is. It's about being human, okay? And let me tell you what is not human, okay? I just wanna, and you've seen this, right? So you know somebody who is in a group that you're in, and what they do is once a week when they write a new blog post, suddenly they are in the group, right? Sharing their blog post. And that's all it is. It's just them sharing their blog post, but they're never in there commenting. They're never in there sharing. It feels kind of selfish, and we don't care for those people, right? So don't be one of those people. Ask yourself, if somebody else was doing what I'm doing right now, would I care for that? If the answer is no, don't do it. And step 5 is share your valuable, underline, boldface, italicize, circle that in your notes, content, okay? So you have your expertise, your potential customers and groups have their needs. When their needs meet your expertise, that's where you come in, after you've done the previous 4 steps, after you've established yourself as somebody who knows what's going on, after you have proven to them, right, that you understand the way it works, that you know a little thing or two about Facebook ads. or excuse me, Facebook content. I was checking to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Facebook content and your content, right? So there's really a couple of ways that you can do this, but I want you to remember. So it's really easy for us to get in this mentality where I think we're almost afraid to share content sometimes. I'm going to grab a sip of water here. But we think, I didn't like it when so-and-so shared this content. I didn't like it when they kind of used the group and it was like totally selfish, and it was very obvious to me that that was a selfish move, right? We don't care for that. And so in our minds, we think, I better not share my content because I don't want people to see me as selfish. I don't want people to view my content as useless, okay? But I want to tell you something. If you write a piece of content for your site or your Facebook, and it is going to provide real, actionable value to the members of the group, it's okay to share it, as long as it's within the rules of the group. But it's okay to share that, because I want you to think about it like this. Let's say that you're in a group about blogging, and day after day after day, people are saying, I cannot install colors on my blog, right? I cannot figure out how to get colors on my blog. I'm using this theme. And that question is coming up over and over and over again, okay? And because you're doing free market research in these groups, from step number 2, you decide to write a blog post on that. So you write the blog post, and then that's it. You're afraid to share it because what if people think it's not valuable? Guess what? As long as you're allowed to share links in that group, based on step number 2, that people need that info. So you are almost doing a disservice to yourself and to the people of that group if you don't share that content. I hope that makes sense, because I really want that to sink in, that the game has changed. It's no longer how much content can I push out and share and put in people's faces. That used to work 2-3 years ago. Now it's how can I connect with people? How can I build meaningful relationships so that when I post this in the group, those people know who I am, and they comment and they like and they tag and they share, because I built up my authority, I built up my trust, and now people are clicking to my site. Simple enough. So that's like my really, into it seriousness. There's really 2 ways that you can drive traffic and sales. You can provide a link to your site in response to a question in the group, okay? So somebody says, hey, Zach, I really can't figure out how to do Facebook marketing without spending a fortune on ads, right? That's what they tell me. If I build up my authority in that group, what I'm going to do is say, hey, I am so glad that you asked me. I have a free webinar Thursday at 9 p.m. You're all here, thank you. I have a free webinar Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and I would love to have you hop on. I'm going to talk all about free Facebook methods. There's a couple things that's going to happen. Number 1, I am building my list, just like I said. I am providing value, which is superbly important. I think that I'm hoping that you're all getting lots of value out of this. But here's the other thing. If I do that in a group where for the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I have built up my authority, not only is that person who's going to ask be happy that I shared and trust that the content that I shared is of value, they're going to comment on it, right? And that's going to bump it to the top of the feed. And not only is that going to bump it to the top of the feed, but let's say Sean is the person who asked the question, but Jen also had a question like this. And Jen remembers you from all these questions you've been answering. And Jen says, hey, Zach, that sounds really awesome. I'm going to join. And now Jen and Sean have commented. And their 2 comments act as social proof for Ed, who didn't know you really, but he's seen you around and he knows your face, and he knows that Jen and Sean are super active in this group. So he trusts that if all 3 of you are sharing it, maybe he should hop on that webinar. And if you are saying right now, Zach, that is crazy, that doesn't happen, I want to remind you that in 4 days, I got 160 people signed up, 160 plus signed up without ads, right? I guarantee you I am not in, 85 groups, because that works. Because when people trust you and they trust what you're saying and you provide real good content, when the time and the place is right to share your opt-in, your webinar, your opportunity, whatever it may be, they want to hear it because they trust you. They're like one little very important thing, do not betray that trust. Because you can go from real authoritative in a group to real spammy real quick, okay? So just keep that in mind. Number 2, this is what I was talking about earlier. Mona, you had asked, I can't get in a group as a page. I know I can't, right? No, you can't, but here's what you can do. If you write a stellar blog article, you should share it on your Facebook page. I would recommend that. But you can go to your profile. So let's say Heart, Soul, and Hustle, which is my Facebook page. I write this awesome article called How to Do a Killer Webinar. And I put that on Heart, Soul, and Hustle. And then I am in Facebook marketing group B. And somebody says, hey, does anybody know how to do an awesome webinar? I say, let me grab a post for you that I just did. Here's what I would do. As my profile, I would share the post from my page into that group, and I would tag that person who asked me the question. They're going to comment. It's going to show that I'm not spamming the group. It's going to show that I'm providing a valuable link. This does a couple things for you. It builds your likes, right? Who doesn't want more likes on their page? It's going to get people clicking on your content. So if you get them to your website and you have a great opt-in, guess what? They're going to opt in. And not just them, but the other people who see it and wonder about webinars. Because if you're doing your research right in step 2, you're targeting the right groups, guess what happens? That webinar post doesn't just apply to the person who asked. It applies to 50% of the group, and they engage and they ask questions. And when they ask you questions, you respond and you build more authority, and they want more from you. So they click on your profile and they click on your page. And I know that it sounds really crazy because when I started doing this, I was like, how is this happening? How are people coming to my like page? How is it that my vegan food blog, which I have taken a little blogcation, I'm calling it, for almost 3 weeks now, continues to get likes when I'm not consistently posting on that page? Because I built authority in the right groups and people know what it is I stand for. And so when I do share something on that page, guess what? There's this like totally unexpected bonus that happens. The people who like your page, they matter, they care. And right now, the average is 5 to 10% reach, they say, on posts, right? That's what they're saying right now. I can get anywhere from 20 to 30, and in some cases, I can get 100% of the people on my page seeing something I post without sharing it in groups, just because I have built the right people around my page. So I want you to stop and think about that. And I want you to comment. I want you to comment in the box now. How would you feel, right? How would it feel to know that not only are you getting more likes, more opt-ins, more people to your page, but that it's the right people, the people who are qualified, the people who want to see your content, the people who are going to click it and share it and comment. So I know that there's a little delay, but I want you to comment in the box below. I want to hear how it's going to feel when that happens, because it will. If you follow these 5 steps, it will happen. Here are the 4 things that you can expect when you follow these 5 steps and you follow it through the end. And I still want you to comment with how you're going to feel. I'm coming back to you guys. Number 1, people network with you, right? Right now, it feels like every time I want to connect with somebody, I have to add them on Facebook. This week, I went through 50 plus friend requests of people messaging me saying, when can we meet? When can we talk? And I had people coming from all kinds of sources, multiple groups, multiple pages, reaching out to me to ask me questions because I built that authority. People are going to message you. They're going to ask you what your rates are. They're going to say, hey, Zach, I really would love to get on the phone with you. What do you charge? It happens. People are going to say, hey, I checked out your website and I opted into your thing and I really love it. Do you have a program for that? And you can say, yes, I do, because you built the authority. And here's the big one. People are going to tag you in groups. This is power. This is literally where the power is at, because when people tag you, this is how you know you're doing it right. It means that other people view you as an authority on the topic. Somebody took the time to tag you because they know that you know the answer or that you'll be a good resource. And then, like I said, your traffic, your opt-ins, your like, they all go up. You have a measurable metric of Facebook authority. People know, and you know, that you're doing it the right way. And here's what you guys are saying. Encourage. It's going to be encouraging. It's going to be wonderful to get pages. Motivating. You're going to feel wonderful, excited, motivated. Oh, I love it. You guys are just, you're thrilled and you're excited. Okay, so, and there is one thing that I want you to realize is that people are going to want to connect with you. But they're also going to want to help you, right? So when I first did this, I was kind of shocked, but as I ran this webinar, or as I was getting ready for it, Christy said, I just tagged you in a post. See, Christy? See, guys, it works. I just got tagged in a post before she even knew I was going to say it. How insane is that? Okay, sorry. So the other thing is people will want to connect with you and help you, right? While I was promoting this webinar, I counted at least 5 messages where people said, hey, please send me that link because I'm going to send it to my people. That didn't happen because I asked those people to, even though I did reach out to a couple of people and ask them because you have to market, but people reached out to me and said, hey, what can I do to make this work? Seriously, it's that awesome. Few more came through. You would feel excited, motivated, wonderful, successful. It would be nice to get those likes. Yes, that's it. So here's a quick recap of the 5 steps. You're going to find groups. That's the simple part. You're going to research groups and you are going to write it down in your notebook. Promise me, okay? Promise me you're going to write it down in your notebook that you're going to hear what these people have to say. You're going to listen to them. You're going to write down everything about them. And then you're going to practice selfless helping. You're going to know what they want. You're going to know what they need. And you're going to help them without spamming your links, without popping in once a week with your blog posts. Then you're going to be active. You are going to be present in that group. And I don't mean for 24 hours. I mean for like a week, right? Because people need to know who you are. 1 to 2 weeks minimum, you should be in these groups, creating a face and a name for yourself, okay? Then when it's time and people know you, you share your valuable content. And if you're saying to me, Zach, I totally feel you, man, but I thought you said you got 72 likes in 3 days and you just told me to spend 2 weeks in a group. You're right, I did. Because after I spent in one group 30 days, I reached out to multiple people who had said to me, why don't you have a page yet? Right? They said, you need to start a page. You need to start a page. Your stuff is awesome. You know what you're talking about. That's called leveraging authority. You need to start a page. So when I did, I messaged the administrator of the group and I said, hey, these 10 people have asked me to create a page and I would love to share it here because I think I have something great to offer. She said, go ahead and share it. Then she shared it. Then their friend shared it. And in the first, literally the first 12 hours, 500 likes. That happens. And guys, guess what? In the first 72 hours of this webinar, of organizing it, 120 signups. How amazing would it be to get 120 people on your list in 72 hours without paying for it? You can do it. So you're kind of saying to me like, okay, I get it. I need to share. I need to do it. But how do I leverage my authority? And it's a great question because it's not as simple as, hey, send them to your site and then boom, it all happens, right? Because if that was happening, we would just pay to send people to our site and make millions of dollars. But most of us aren't doing that. And so in order to address that question, I created a program called Facebook Authority on a Dime. It is a 6-module course, including a bonus module, where I'm going to walk you through what people are thinking on Facebook, how to become almost Facebook famous, almost instant Facebook famous, how to build your list, how to craft those relationships I'm talking about so that people say to you, hey, can I share your stuff? It'll happen. Module 5, I'm going to teach you, okay, likes are great, right? But I always like to say likes are fantastic, but lights don't keep the lights on, right? Dollars keep the lights on. So how do we turn these likes into dollars? In module 1, I'm going to teach you my system of action payments, and you are going to use these to propel your authority and your business forward. You're going to learn the 3 H's of Facebook and how they're going to connect you with your audience in a way that builds authority and doesn't feel sleazy, right? Because nobody wants to feel sleazy. Nobody wants to feel sleazy and like they're selling all the time. That sucks. We don't like that. Let's not, right? Module 2, I'm going to go deeper into what we talked about tonight. I'm going to teach you something called the gaps method, learn how to fill in the gaps on Facebook, and you can apply these methods to every platform on social media. How awesome would it be if not only did this work on Facebook, but it worked on Pinterest and Instagram and Twitter? Oh, it works, I'm telling you. The tweaks that you can change to your profile and your Facebook page to get more people to like and engage. Then I'm going to show you how to build your list. What can we do on your Facebook page and your website to get more people on your list? How are we going to share your content in a way that gets you heard? Because you know you've done it before where you post a link and then what? Crickets. My new book came out, crickets. Join my list, crickets. I'm doing a webinar, crickets. Let's fix that. It's easy, I promise. I'm going to show you how to create valuable content that will drive people right to your list. They're going to call you and they're going to say, how do I get on your list? Because I want more of what you got. It has happened to me multiple times this week. It will happen to you. Module 4 is crafting relationships. Why it's important to take it on Facebook and the best ways to do that. And how to network in a way that people start reaching out to you. So like I told you, you want people, you don't want to have to say, hey, Bridget, let's message on Facebook and talk. And you want Bridget to message you and say, hey, Zach, I really love what you're doing. Let's talk, right? Anybody who is anybody knows how difficult it can be to reach out and connect with new people. But what if they were connecting to you? Wouldn't that be better? I think so. In module 5, I'm going to show you how to turn these likes into dollars, right? Like I said, likes don't keep the lights on, dollars do. So why it's important to have something for sale, but selling on Facebook doesn't work anymore. It doesn't, but offering does, giving does. How do we give in a way that also allows us to be productive? Because a hand that's open to give is a hand that's open to receive. So the more you can give, the more likely people are going to be to reach out and get your products. And then multiple streams of income that you can have for online success with affiliate marketing, info products, coaching, tons of ways that you can make money. But I'm also throwing in a few sweet extras, and I love the word sweet, so I'm using it, right? Sweet extras. So 2 live Q&A calls. It's a 4-week program. I'm going to get on the phone or a webinar with you twice so that you can ask specific questions. Are you stuck? What's not working? Where do you find groups? I can't find this. I'm going to help you. I'm going to get on the phone with you. I'm going to make it work. I've got another module called the Passionate Bootstrapper module, which I am very passionate about because I want you to understand that what I did with this webinar is what you could be doing, right? I did advertise partially, but I used a lot of my organic techniques to double the audience that I would have otherwise had. But where do you think I got the money for those ads? I use this method to get my products out there, to get my name out there, to bring the money together, to get even more people in front of it and spread my message to help more people. How awesome would that be to have the money in your pocket for free to be able to do more things using free marketing techniques? You can do it. I'm also going to put you in my exclusive Facebook group, and that's for paid clients only. You're going to get direct access to ask me questions and get feedback from myself and others in the program. I want you to be able to really succeed if you decide to do this, because this will change the way that you're marketing on Facebook. It will, I promise. So here's what a couple of people had to say. Nick said, first off, Zach is a great guy to work with. He provides amazing insight for you to apply to your online presence, and his expertise is worth its weight in gold. I would definitely recommend Zach to anyone who is looking to expand their reach online or grow their blog and site into an income-generating business. Take it from me, do not pass up an opportunity to work with him. And I think that's why you guys are here, right? To expand your reach and generate income. That's what we all want to do. Bonnie said, 30 minutes with Zach did more for me and my business than I could have possibly done in several hours. Zach is knowledgeable, easy to understand, and a resourceful coach. Okay? And you're saying, well, I'm not getting 30 minutes with you. Well, I've got a little surprise for you. I'm going to throw in a webinar bonus to the first 10 people who join my program. To the first 10 people who join from this webinar, you're going to get free 30-minute business strategy session with me. Okay? And that's for the next 10 people. This course normally costs $247. I'm doing an introductory rate of $197. You have to use the code 50 off, and you can see it just showed up in your chat now, where you can click to get more information on the program. But that introductory rate of $197, I'm not planning to do that again because this is a 4-week live course. I want to make the first time special. I want to kill it with you guys. I want you guys to be so confident that you are out there on Facebook, reaching people, making a difference, getting the products that you have that change lives into the hands of your customers, because it's possible and you do not need advertising thousands of dollars to do it. You don't. And I am proof. And I want to show you that. Okay? The doors are closing Sunday, but again, that offer is only for the first 10 people. That 30-minute coaching session, which is, I would charge $100 for that, $97. You're going to get that for free if you're one of the first 10 people to join me. And I want you to join me because I want to take your business to the next level with you. So let's do a Q&A. I just popped it in. That code is 50 off if you're looking to redeem it. But I'm going to flip over to the camera. But before I do, if you have any other questions, you can email me at zach@heartsoul